So, yeah, so it looks like that flashing light indicates that it's recording. So it's going to be catching all of my voice. But then you would be able to just walk your students through all of this.
Okay. So how do I go to the next slide?
You should arrow. What about arrow down? Yep. Okay. What if you enter? Yeah, what if you click on the touchpad? Does that one do it? Okay.
Official discourse about language. And then I can point like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the idea?
Mm-hmm.
So official discourse about language can view language as a problem, as a right, or as a resource. And this comes from Richard Ruiz, 1984, Orientations in Language Planning. So the first reauthorization of the Bilingual Education Act was in 1968 when, what's his name? Johnson was president. And in the reauthorization, he called for the solution of grave educational problems, that we need adequate and constructive solutions to solve this unique and disconcerting situation. Lyndon B. Johnson, Democrat. So the next time that the Bilingual Education Act was reauthorized was in 1974. Nixon was president, Republican, whatever you call it, and Ford followed him. And this time the language used was that children learn primarily through their mother tongue and their own culture. Therefore, many children who speak limited English have educational needs that could be addressed with bilingual methods, and that they would benefit from the use of multiple resources of languages and cultures. These programs are not intended for children whose first language is English, so that they could learn a foreign language. So the important difference is that now they're not seen as problems that need to be solved, but that whatever the issue is can be solved by using bilingual methods and resources of other languages. The next time, that was Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford, Republican. The next time it was reauthorized is in 1978 when Jimmy Carter was president, so a Democratic administration. And the language used is the educational failure of students with limited English. We need scientific studies of bilingualism. Native American students need to be considered, and that the appreciation of all cultures represented in the United States needs to be considered. And this time it permits students whose first language is English to participate, but their participation will be limited. Jimmy Carter. The next time, Ronald Reagan is president, so a Republican administration, and the language used is in small communities with limited resources, bilingual education is not possible. Federal law recognizes state control and control of local school districts. Segregation is always a problem. Speaking limited English is a problem for parents because it inhibits their complete participation in national life and in the education of their children. Ronald Reagan, Republican. 1988, under the administration, another Republican administration of the first Bush, and then, so just going.
Okay, perfect. And then you could probably just stop the recording. So I'm not sure if we can press that dot, if that'll stop it, or if we have to go back in. Okay, it doesn't look like it. So we'll go back to more.
Stop video.
Well, that'll stop your video, but it's still recording. So we'll go to stop recording.